All right, guys, here's the kit for the day. Pentax 645, a 35mm film, and the 1DS. Beautiful day in Nashville, yeah. Film, is there anything cooler? Probably not. All right, let's roll. All right, let's do this. Let's go take some film photos. There we go. I forgot the camera. I need that camera. We are out here in Franklin, Tennessee, and we are driving around in the country looking for a spot to take a couple photographs. So I think I found something cool. Let's go check it out. All right, let's grab the cameras. Let's see what we got here. So a couple things that I like to shoot with. Number one, I love this strap. So this strap holds all my cameras, my light meter. It's basically got 3 different anchoring positions that I can attach stuff to. So the camera, I like to put right here, like that. So this is my Sekonic Speedmaster L858D. Turn that on. And I like to put that on this mount right here. So that goes like that. And then we're gonna put on my digital camera today, which I brought, my Canon, the 1DS Mark III. Thanks to Andrew Morton for selling that to me. Then I've got the 28mm lens that's gonna go on there. And I'm gonna use this to, check some meterings and stuff. So we'll put that on the other side. Okay, and I'll clip it on the right side. Okay, got that. And we're gonna grab a couple rolls of film. Let's see what we got here. So in the camera right now, I've got Portra 160. So we've got, 6 shots left on that. So we're gonna work on that. I've also got some ektar 100 and I've got some Portra 400. So, yep. Let's see here, what else do I need? I need a lens, that would help if I had a lens. So let's grab a lens. I'm gonna start off with the 45mm, which is like a 24, 28mm equivalent, I think. So it's pretty wide. It's an f2.8. I picked this up on eBay for like 200 and some odd dollars. And this lens is amazing. It's actually been probably my second most favorite lens. I've got 3 of them. I bought this not thinking I was gonna use it a lot, but it has become one of my favorite lenses. I've got the 75mm, which is a 50mm equivalent on a full frame. I've got the 55, which is a 35mm equivalent, and then I've got the 45. And I use this thing all the time. The 75mm is really the one to have, and I've got autofocus for that lens. These ones do not have autofocus, but they're great for landscape. All right, I think that's it. Let's go. All right, guys, so as we come up on top of this hill, this is a pretty awesome view of Tennessee. So we're about 30 minutes or so from Nashville, right outside of Franklin. So that's an awesome view. It's beautiful country out here, as you can see. The question is, what photo are we gonna take? So You've got some trees over here to the left. As I'm looking at the composition, I just don't like them in there. I think, you know, the better composition is gonna be without these trees. So let's keep going a little ways. Yeah, I like this much better. So as I've moved down a little farther and got these trees out of the shot, I like it a lot better. It's more of a landscape, in my opinion. It's beautiful Tennessee country land. Oh, I love this shot. This is totally sweet. Okay, great. We got some barns over on the left. It's pretty cool. Okay. I think we're gonna shoot right here. All right, guys, so this is the shot that I like. So let's start metering some stuff up. We are gonna start with the digital camera. So first step is to turn it on. Second step is to find a shot that you like at a 5.6. So I'm gonna start there. I'm just gonna put it the shot that I want and get that light meter to also go where I want. Let's try a shot. All right, that was 2 shots. Let's try that with the film camera. And again, guys, we're shooting Portra 160 on the Pentax 645 with the 45mm lens, okay? So let's match those settings. We're gonna rate this first piece of film at 100, okay? Now my internal meter is saying that it's overexposed. So just for the sake of matching our digital, let's see what happens. Here we go. 2, 3. Gosh, I love that sound. All right, now let's take another shot. Let's meter this next shot with the internal light meter and see what kind of results we get. So let's try that. It's gotta go down and stop. I'm gonna move the aperture, leave the shutter at a 250, and this is gonna be at an f8 now. Okay, here we go, and 2, 3. All right, let's try that. Great. Let's switch over to our light meter, our Sekonic Speedmaster L858D. First step on using this, you gotta turn it on as well. And let's use the bulb here to take just a daylight, just to see what the... All right, and our internal light meter is saying it's a little underexposed, but let's just go with it. Okay, great. Okay, now let's switch over to our spot meter, our reflective meter. Now, this is what I like to use on these shots. Let's find the brightest area. The sky is f9, f8 to the right, f8. If I go up higher, f8, to the left, f9, f9. So the left side of the sky is just a little bit brighter, and that makes sense because where the sun's at. So let's go, we want some detail in the sky, so let's just go ahead and add a mark there. Now let's find the darkest point. So these trees right down here are at 2.2, going to the left, 2.5, 2.8, 2.8, 2.8. To the right is at f2, 2.2, 2.5, 2.2, 2.2, 2.5. All right, so I see a f2.2, and that's in a part of the tree that I think would be good to have some detail there. So anything darker than that, I'm not super worried about because it's way lower. And the darkest thing I can find is at f2, right at the base of the trees. And I'm not super worried about seeing detail in there. So let's just go up the tree. Let's put the 2.2 in there, because even up on the tree a little higher was an f2.2. So, all right, let's average that. And it's saying 5.6, f5.6, and the shutter would be a 1600. So we got a 5.6. The shutter on this camera only goes to 1,000. Shutter's 1,000, ISO is 100, and it'll give us an aperture reading based on that. And it's saying f7. There's a 6.7 or an 8, so let's shoot it at a 6.7. It's weird because the light meter inside the camera is saying that it's underexposed. Here we go. Let's take the shot. 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Got that. Now let's try a couple other meterings. Let's try looking at the brightest part of an image and then we'll do our subtracting method from that. Sky on the left side is the brightest thing. We want some detail up there, so that's F11. Go to F11, and then you add 2 stops of light to put that middle gray, because this light meter reads middle gray, right? So the brightest thing in the image we know is not middle gray. It has to be above middle gray. All right, so 2 stops. There's 8, and then a 5, 6. Our settings here are shutter 1000, f5.6. Awesome. Now let's do the same thing, but let's do it for the shadows. See what kind of result we get there. And I know from earlier looking around, I know what part of the tree is the darkest, is a 2.5. So let's say 2.5. And on this camera, it'll just be a 2.8. So then we'll add 2 stops of light to that, which puts us back at a 5.6. So we've already taken that shot. So now let's try using the internal camera meter and see what kind of reading we get. And then it's saying an F4. So let's take that shot and see what we get. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there's one other way I wanted to try metering this scene that I've seen online, is you just pick something in the image that you think might be middle gray and just spot meter that and then just use that as your reading. So let's look around and see if we can't find that, okay? So as I look at this image, I see, imagine there's no color involved and you're looking at a black and white image. So the things you'd notice is that the sky would be a lot brighter and then the trees would be a lot darker. So we need to find something in this image that is close to middle gray. And I'm gonna have to guess that this grass would be middle gray. So let's check it. And it's saying F5, it's an F5. I mean, that matches up with what we already metered, so let's just leave it. All right, I think we're good here. Let's go find something else to shoot. All right, let's go to the next place. So I was just driving down the road and I saw this greenhouse and I saw these flowers and I thought, I really like the way the light's hitting it and I like the sun. I think this could be really cool. Let's take a look here. Oh wow, yeah, that's awesome. All right, got a shot. Let's take one on the digital, see what it looks like. So we know we want to be at about an f5.6. We are at 100 speed. Do 1,000 shutter right there. It's a pretty contrasty scene. I really like about an f7, honestly, or an f8, f7 or f8. Looks pretty good. That sky's pretty bright. So, all right, and it's saying it's underexposed in my light meter. So, but we'll go ahead and take it. So, all right, let's try one. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. We'll see what that looks like. Okay, next shot. Let's go ahead and do an internal meter on this camera. So it's saying f4.5. So let's try that. Got it. Now, let's go ahead and do a reading with our Sekonic light meter. And this is a challenging scene because it's backlit pretty heavily. So let's take a look at some of our brightest 10. Let's start off with the bulb. So our incident meter in direct sunlight, it actually says 4.5, so that's interesting. The bulb in direct sunlight is 4.5. All right, let's switch over to the reflective meter. All right, that sky is a 12.7, f10 to the left, going to the right, 12.7, it's a 14, right above the right-hand greenhouse. 12.7 is the brightest. If it's the 14, it's okay if it's blown out a little bit of detail gone, but 12.7, let's say that's the brightest. Put that in there. All right, well, let's figure out the darkest. So the base of that greenhouse is a 5.6. The grass is a 5. I see a 4.5, 5, 5.6, 5. It's that tractor. That tractor's a 4.5. So we want a little detail on that tractor. So let's do 4.5 as the darkest. Let's average it, saying an F7. We've already taken that shot as well. So that really is probably going to be our exposure. Let's do one from the darkest spot, which is a 4, F4. Let's just say an F4. We'll go up 2 stops, 6, and an F8. Let's try one at an F8 and see what that looks like. All right. Now let's see, this is our last shot here. So the brightest area was, we're saying a 12.7. So let's go 12.7 and add 2 stops of light. And that is gonna be at a 6.7. So let's take that. Let's take our last shot at that metering. Here we go, 2, 3. Awesome, got it. So I do want to try shooting a roll of ektar real fast while we're here too. So let's do that now. All right, here we've got it. So let's just go ahead and put it in the camera. Listen to this noise. Here we go. All right, so I want to try shooting a couple ektar shots. The metering that I have the most faith in is the, 6.7, which was from our spot metering. So ISO 100, shutter 1000, f-stop 6.7. Let's try taking that shot. And I can't wait to see the difference between the ektar and the portra 160. So here we go. A little leading line right there from the field. It's pretty cool. All right, here we go, 2, 3. And maybe we'll take one more just to make sure that we got it. So let's just use that internal meter real quick. Just using the light meter in the camera. So I'm still at a 6.7. I just gave it 2 more stops of light using the shutter, so it's down to a 250 now. Here we go, 2, 3. All right, we'll see what that looks like. Okay, cool. All right, so while we're at it, I saw these really cool flowers here. Let's just take another shot of these and see what we got. So for this, I'm just gonna go ahead and use our bulb meter, the incident light. Here's the bright daylight. Is gonna be a 4.5. And if we're gonna meter it, average the shadows and the highlights, it's gonna be a 3.6. I'm gonna put it right where the subject would be at. A little bit of shadow on this right-hand side. 3.6, 3.6. Okay. Let's try that, 1000 at a 3.6. I don't have a 3.6, so I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot one at a 2.8. All right, now let's shoot one using the internal meter, because the light meter is giving me a different reading. It was saying it was underexposed, so give it an extra stop of light. I'm gonna take that shutter and crank it up to 500. Okay, now let's take one like this. Actually, I like this, looking more into the sun. 2 and 3. Okay, so it's 500 at a 2.8, so all right, we'll see what we get. Cool. Let's go. College Grove, Tennessee. Chapel Hill. All right, what's up guys? So we ended up making it to Henry Horton State Park. It's a little bit dark right now. We gotta shoot this film because it's 100 speed. So there's a couple shots here we can possibly get, but this is probably gonna do it for the end of the video. Unless on the way home, we can maybe find a cool barn or something. So let's take a couple exposures. But first, let's start off with the digital camera. And I think something's cool is this trail. You can see the river, you can see some trees, see some grass. It's pretty cool looking. I think that'll be a cool shot. The only problem is that sky. The sky is pretty bright, so we got to figure out how to take this exposure. So let's go ahead and take a look with our digital camera. ISO 100. I doubt we'll be able to shoot at a 5.6, so let's go down to a 4. So let's go ahead and open it up to a 2.8. Okay, we can get that shutter down to a 50th, that's what it's saying. So let's take one of those. And we'll see what that looks like. That's way overexposed. That's not what we're looking for. So let's bump it down a little bit. Let's meter more for the sky. So let's stop it down to like a 4, maybe. All right, let's take that. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so then let's split the difference, because that's too dark. There, that's starting to look pretty good. The sky is just really bright. So, let's see what that looks like. That's better. So I like those settings. F4 at a 60th. Let's try one on film, shall we? F4 at a 60th. And let's see what the internal meter on this is gonna say. Saying that it's underexposed. But, you know, let's try that one. Here we go. And back up a little bit. A little bit more of that trail in there. Here we go, 2, 3. Okay, that's cool. I don't know if those are gonna turn out. That sky is awful bright. So let's take a look at what our incident meter is saying. See what's going on here. So yeah, it's saying at a 60th is a 3.2, 2.8, 2.5, 3.2. So that's pretty close to what you're getting with the digital. All right, let's do a little spot meter in here. Let's go ahead and look at that sky. It's really bright. It's 18. There's a 20 down by the trees, like right above the tree is a 20, so it's really bright. Put that in there, and then the ground is 2.8. 2.5, 2.8. That's about a 2.8. It's the darkest I can find, so we'll put that in there. Average is gonna be an F8. Let's try one at an F8. Oh, I wanna see what that water reflection is. Water reflection is a 12.7. Not as quite as bright as that sky. So, I said we shoot one at an F8. See what that looks like. At a 60th shutter speed. Let's see what that looks like. All right, we'll see how those come out. Those are kind of a tough situation, really bright sky, so let's find something else. Audio sync. All right, this is kind of a cool shot here, possibly. All right, so this could possibly be a cool shot here. All right, so this could possibly be a cool shot right here. So let's see what this looks like. Pretty cool. That sky is a little bright still. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So F4 to 60th. Let's just go ahead and take a couple readings here. Go to that incident meter. Yeah, it's saying a 3.2, 2.8. Let's take a look at this internal light meter real quick. See what it's gonna say. At an F4 to 60th, it's right on the money. Here we go. 2, 3. That's cool. Now let's use the spot meter. Let's look at that. Take a look at that sky above those trees. It's an 18, 16, 18, 16. Oh, yeah, that's pretty bright. Do we want detail up there? Maybe a little bit. Yeah. A little color would be nice. So let's set it at the 16. And then let's look around down on the ground. We see a 2.8. 3.2, 3.2, 3.2, 2.8. Some of the dark spots along the bank, tree roots. 2.5, 2.8. Let's just say a 2.8. And then let's average that. We're getting an F7 as our exposure. Let's try that on the digital camera real quick and see what that looks like. Let's just shoot that and see what that looks like. I mean, it's really dark. Shadows are really dark. I don't think that's gonna work, but just for the sake of trying this, let's try one at an F7. I think that one's gonna be really underexposed, but if we're taking the average of the highlights and the shadows, then that's what we would do. So there we go, 2, 3. All right, there we go. I just really don't feel good about that. What I would feel better about is you know, because you want, I mean, you want the shot to look like it's in the shadows, you know, because it is. This river is in the shadow, and that sky is the brightest thing. So, you know, if you're going to f16, you know, put that in that top range of the grayscale, you know, that's gonna put you at an f7. I just don't know what that exposure is gonna look like. For the shadows, the darkest thing you got in there is that 2.8. So if you do 2.8, your exposure would be a 5.6. You know, so maybe we gotta take that one too. Say 2.8 and put it at a 5.6, you know. Let's see if that works. Well, I think that makes the most sense because, you know, you want that stuff to be in the shadows. If you made that middle gray, it would look like bright sun, you know? It would look like noon, but we want it to be in the shadows. I say you put that in the shadows and you let the sky blow out. So I'm gonna do a 5.6. Let's try it. Here we go. And 2, 3. All right, cool. And then just for the sake of having it, let's shoot one more, making middle gray whatever our bulb meter's at, which is a 2.8 at 60. And we'll just compare, you know, see what's going on. Here we go. 2, 3. Cool. All right, so that's probably gonna be our last shot of the day, but let's head on back to Nashville. We might get lucky and find somewhere cool to shoot. All right, guys, let's head out of here.